come about, come along, come across. Let's just give up on our books for a while and focus on some interesting vocabulary related to studying. Yes, guys, this lesson is about some interesting vocabulary that you can use when you want to talk about studying to your friends. I will teach you some unusual expressions that you may not have heard earlier. So if you want to learn these expressions, then keep watching this lesson with me. My name is Michelle and you're watching me on Let's Talk. So here we are, and we have some very interesting vocabulary with us that we can use to talk about studying. So why don't we start with the first one? Ace a test. Do you know what's the meaning of ace? Ace means number one. Number one. So ace a test means to get a very good score or to do a test very well. To do a test very well. Alright, so if somebody asks you, how did you do your chemistry test? And if you did it very well, you could say that, hey buddy, I just aced it, which means I did it very well. Okay, now let's look at the next phrase that we can use to talk about studying. And this one is cram. So cramming means to study a lot in a short period of time. So basically to cram means to memorize a lot of information, okay? To memorize a lot of information. To study a lot in a short period of time. Okay, so to study a lot in short time is what we call cram. So if you have a history exam tomorrow and you have not studied enough, you have not prepared enough, and you're going to use up your this night before the exam to study too much in a very short time span, that's when you're cramming. So if your friend asks you, do you want to come over for the party tonight? You could say, no, my dear, I need to cram for my biology test tomorrow. Okay, so this is what you mean by cram, and anytime you have too much to study in a very short period, you're going to use this one. Okay, the next one is cut class, which means to not go to a class. Okay, to not go to a class. Cut means to not go. So sometimes it happens that we have a particular exam, but the day before that exam, we have some classes. We really don't like those classes because usually we are kind of not so prepared. So what we want to do is just a day before the exam is the most important day for most of the students. So what they try to do is they study a lot on the day before the exam. And for any classes that are for that day, they cut it, which means they don't go to that class, okay? So if you are cutting a class, you could tell your friend, hey, I'm going to cut this class. I need to study for my math exam tomorrow. And your friend could tell you, okay, I'll tell the teacher that you're sick, which means that you've said that you'll not go for that particular class. So here we are talking about one class, okay? One class. Now the next one we have is drop a class. Now drop a class means when you drop or when you don't go to a class for one whole semester or for a much longer time, okay? Not go for a long time. So we all have these very important subjects in school, okay? And there are some subjects in our school or college which we think are not so important. For those subjects, sometimes we decide to drop them because we have so much to do that we decide to take the unimportant subjects and not do them, right? This could be true for your qualifying subjects. So if you are a history student, maybe history and all its fields are your important subjects, but you don't need to take an English class because that's just a qualifying paper. So you could say that I'm too stressed out this semester, I'm going to drop the English class, which means that for this semester, you will go very less for the English class, okay? So this is how you use drop a class, which is for a longer time, and cut a class, which is for only one class, okay? Now the next one we have is to hit the books. We all love to hit the books. We would want to hit the books any day because we just don't want to study. But here it means something else. Hit the books here does not mean to hit them with your fist. It means to study, to start studying, okay? To hit the books here means to start studying. Have you ever heard anyone saying, hey bro, let's hit the bar? Which means let's go to the bar. So this has a similar meaning. Hit the books means go to the books or start studying, okay? So if you have an exam tomorrow, then you might want to hit the books tonight, all right? So this is what we mean by hit the books, to start studying. But if you have an exam tomorrow and you don't hit the books because you're slacking off. Slacking off means to be lazy or to not work hard, all right? Slack off means to be lazy or not work hard. So you could say that I'm in no mood to study, I'm really slacking off this evening, which means I'm being very lazy this evening about studying. So what will happen if you slack off and tomorrow you have an exam? Naturally, you will have to pull an all-nighter. All-nighter means to study all night, okay? All-nighter means to study all night. You always say pull an all-nighter, okay? Pull an all-nighter. Now, this means exactly what I've been trying to tell you. If you have an exam tomorrow and you have not studied enough, then you will spend the whole night studying for that exam. So you could say that I have a chemistry exam tomorrow, I need to pull an all-nighter because I didn't prepare at all, all right? So this is how you use it. But if you don't try to pull an all-nighter and you end up slacking off, then all that's gonna happen to you is that you're going to flunk. Flunk means to fail an exam, okay? I'm coming to that one, don't worry. To fail an exam. So if you're not able to pull an all-nighter and you slack off, you will happen to fail an exam. And we can also say flunk out. Flunk out means to fail completely in a class. So if you fail many exams or if you flunk in a lot of exams, you basically flunk out. And if you flunked in one exam, you could say that I flunked in economics thrice. And your friend could say, okay, maybe you need a tutor for economics. All right? And flunked out means to completely fail in one grade. So you could say that she flunked out in grade 8 or she flunked out in the third year of her college. Okay, now let's jump to the first one here, which is full ride. Okay, ride. What do we mean by full ride? Well, full ride is an amazing thing and only the students who happen to ace the test get a full ride. What I mean here is only those students who get a good grade get a full ride. But what is full ride? Full ride is getting a full scholarship, all right? To get a full scholarship. So if you get a full scholarship, you get a full ride. You could say that, hey, Shelly is so lucky. She got a full ride to Atlanta University, which means a full scholarship. A full scholarship is when an organization pays the 100% of your tuition fees. And this is so awesome. Usually, it's very hard to get it unless you have got amazing grades or a great score. All right. Now, with this, we look at the last one for the day, which is pop quiz. Okay. What do we mean by pop? Like when something pops up. All right. Suddenly. Whenever something pops up, it happens very suddenly. The same way when a quiz or a test happens suddenly, it's called a pop quiz. Very often, students also call it a surprise test, okay? So a surprise test is a pop quiz. And if you want to use it, you could obviously say that today we had a pop quiz in philosophy and I didn't know anything because I wasn't prepared. Really, people are really not fond of pop quizzes because they just happen so suddenly and we don't know how to answer them because sometimes we're not prepared. Well, if you are able to pull an all-nighter, then I'm sure you can pass the pop quiz as well. Well, I suggest that you don't slack off and work hard for your school and for your studies. Thank you so much for watching this lesson with me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you. Come back soon for another video. Till then, take care. Bye.